All right, guys, thanks for coming out now. My name is James Nelson, and I'm with Karma Sauce over there somewhere in the 214, I believe. And today I'm preparing you something called Cosmic Ceviche. By a raise of hands, who here's had ceviche before? Okay, good, so I don't have to explain a thing. Let's just get to it. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, ceviche is a raw dish preparation of seafood that is not cooked but denatured by acid. The end result's the same. It breaks down the outside of the proteins of the fish, makes it easier for you to digest, and also decreases the likelihood of foodborne illnesses. So, good thing all around. But the main thing is it tastes great. So, I'm going to start off here with our beautiful piece of Gulf Coast red snapper. Now, you can do ceviche with any dish. With any fish, but the white firm-fleshed fish like snapper, or cod are excellent choices for it because it holds up well, it keeps its shape, and it makes it look really, really, really nice. So the big component here is, unlike grilling a piece of fish, kind of just like grilling a piece of fish, the thicker you cut this thing, the longer it's going to take for that acid to do its job. But we're kind of playing more in the realm of the Peruvian, Ecuadorian style, which in great Peruvian restaurants, they mix it and they bring it to the table. And that's how I like it. So that's what we're going to do for you guys today. So I'll show you a little bit of knife work here. I'm going to cut my filet in half, and you'll kind of notice we're sitting at about 1 inch thick. I'm wanting to do about a 1/2 inch cut on it to give you this nice, big, fat, meaty piece of fish. Everybody kind of get an idea what that looks like. And then from there, we'll just cube, less of a cube, more of a rectangle. So I'm going to go with something like this to give you these big, meaty hunks. You kind of see what that looks like right there? So in the bowl. Ceviche is just one of those dishes that I've loved my whole life. I grew up in a very small town called Victoria, Texas. No one cheer for it. It is a terrible city. But I grew up kind of in the middle of nowhere, but I grew up loving fishing. And I quickly discovered ceviche as I got older. It's one of my favorite dishes to impress the crowd, impress a date, impress family, because it sounds so mystifying. All I'm doing is cubing up everything and covering it with lime juice and eating it. It's a lot more mythical than it actually is. But consistency is key. You want to try and keep your pieces as uniform as possible, and the reason why is as we are marinating these guys, bigger pieces, smaller pieces, if you keep a consistent cut on all your pieces of fish, what you're going to end up with is a better product. And consistency is what we're striving for here today. A little bit more about me. I am with Karma Sauce. Ironic, I've been in the industry for almost 15 years. I started back in 2011, 2012 with a company called Bravado Spice. Ran it for about 11 years and kind of got tired of it and got burnt out, left the industry, and it's kind of one of those things is if you love spicy food and cooking, it's in your soul, you always come back to it. And my dear friend Gene at Karma Sauce gave me the opportunity to come back and join his brand, and I couldn't be happier because otherwise I wouldn't be hanging out with all you beautiful people today. And we're going to be featuring a product today called Cosmic Dumpling. It is a dumpling sauce inspired by all of those amazing like Japanese gyoza and the Chinese style zhilongbao, the soup dumplings. You know, that vinegary soy sauce dipping sauce that you would see with those guys. Well, we wanted to make it into a little bit of a hot sauce. So we throw some jalapeno, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of tamarind to kind of give you that tangy, salty, savory vibe all in one bite. And you may be asking, well, what do you mean? Why are you putting a tamari flavored, East Asian flavored sauce with a ceviche? Well, actually, a little history lesson for everybody, so put on your thinking caps for me. In Peru and Ecuador, there was a large wave of immigration of people from primarily the southern parts of Japan back in the late 1800s. So things like soy sauce, sesame oil, and tamari kind of became stock in those areas. And that's kind of what led to this, but you'll see what it looks like when we get it done putting it together. So I'm going to continue getting this fish cut down into nice, beautiful cubes. And, I've loved spicy food since from I could breathe. As I mentioned, I grew up in a little small town, South Texas, and we had a pekin bush in the backyard, and when I was a little dude, like 3 or 4, I would pluck the little pekin chilies off and eat them, feel insane, run around, and then my parents would make me stop doing that. But it became a lifelong addiction that I've been, or a lifelong dream that I've been chasing, and I've just considered myself so lucky to be able to say that when people ask me, what do you do for a living? I talk about food all day, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. So enough yapping. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my fish, and as you can see, I'm doing my best to keep that consistent pieces, and it's gonna give you a better idea. You're gonna see everything is uniform, everything is beautiful. Traditionally, in ceviche, very few accompaniments. One of the big pieces is you always want to go in an onion. I prefer the red onion because it has a nice bite to it. And when you are doing ceviche, I think it's critically important when you're marinating your fish to also include your onions. Not to get too sciencey on everybody, but the citric acid inside the limes helps break down the fish. It also helps break down some of the outer cell walls of the red onion. And what that does is it pulls out some of the moisture from the fish, pulls out some of the moisture from the onion, and it develops what's called leche de tigre, which means tiger's milk. And that's that wonderful savory flavor profile that you got floating at the bottom of the bowl that's very distinct to ceviche. So I'm just gonna give this a quick chop. Nothing too fancy. How's everybody doing today? Good. I hope you guys are hungry because not only do we have ceviche available to try today, we actually have K-John's Pozole coming out at the exact same time. So if you're hungry, you'll be well fed. So all we're looking for here is literally just thin pieces of onion, just paper thin. And I like doing these longer, bigger pieces like this with the ceviche because you've got more surface area for that acid to hit. So in the pan. And to help kickstart that process of getting all that liquor out, we're going to hit it with a generous amount of sea salt. It seems like it's going to be a lot, but it's not quite as intense as you think it's going to be. Now, I like a little bit more heat in mine, so I always add a little bit of fresh jalapeno. Cut me a rib. Now, it's imperative to remove both the seeds and the membrane, not because they necessarily have more heat in them, but it's because one, it's annoying to get seeds all up in your mouth when you're trying to enjoy some delicious fish. Two, the pith and the white are typically a lot more of those bitter compounds are hanging out. So I just want the sweet, grassy, vegetal jalapeno. And we're just gonna go, we're gonna finely mince this guy to to make it possible for every single bite to have a little bit of that jalapeno in there. We're not trying to blow heads off here. We're not trying to hurt people. What we want to do is just give that gorgeous green color and get it right there in the mix. Just like that. Very little is all you need. So now we're going to start the fun part of mixing. So as you see right here, we've just got our fish, we've just got our jalapeno, we've just got our red onion. We're going to go ahead and hit it with a whole bunch of cilantro. And then we're going to start taking the painstaking process of cutting through each one of these limes. Now, it probably would have been smart of me to get a lime juicer, but too little too late. We didn't do that, so we're squeezing them all by hand. Oh, and there's a million ways to make ceviche. For a lot of people who are squeamish or a little uncomfortable about eating raw fish, just let it marinate a little bit longer. Pop it in the fridge for an hour or two. That acid will do its job. While it's not the exact same thing as grilling a piece of fish, what the citric acid does is it denatures the external cellular wall of that fish, expels water, and just makes it generally safer. So if you're like, hey, wow, ceviche is pretty darn easy to make. I'm gonna make it. And you get home and someone in your family, someone you don't like, or someone who you're preparing this for tells you, I don't like raw fish, just leave it in the fridge for an hour. Come back later, serve it up, and it'll be absolutely delicious and ready to go. It's a very, very old dish too. I think the history on it is something like it is pre-Spanish colonization. We know that much. So it's been around for quite some time. But I have seen ceviche, there are so many toppings and different things you can do with it. They do it with corn nuts, plantain chips. I've seen it with fresh habanero. I've seen it done with seafood. And one of my absolute favorite ways, which I think I'm gonna do next year for you guys, is there's a shrimp version of this. Some people poach the shrimp. 45 minutes in the fridge and you're gonna have an unbelievably sweet, delicious seafood dish to snack on. So as I said before, we're merely just going to toss and serve here in just a minute. And down in, I've never had the luxury of going down to Ecuador, Peru, but I have been down to Mexico many times. And there are many places in the Yucatan, as well as Baja, California, where they will pull the fish right out of the water, prep it on the boat, throw it in a ceviche mix, and throw it in your face. And you can't beat that. It's just pretty darn tasty. And don't worry, guys, we're getting down to the wire here. I've got 2 more limes for you. Let's see here. Now, another fun accoutrement that is going to sound kind of silly is just boiled sweet potato. But you got to think about what you're eating. You're eating something really acidic and protein oriented. Having a carby base is always a good call because it'll just give you something that's that little je ne sais quoi you're looking for. All right, let's go ahead and get this bad boy mixed. And what I'm doing with the hot sauce is I'm not actually going to be incorporating the hot sauce into it right now. Since it's got tamari, tamarind, and all these other wonderful flavors, it will absolutely overpower everything in this bowl. So the thing to keep in mind is ceviche is subtle. It's delicate, but at the same time big. So if you're wanting to put big, huge flavors, top the ceviche with it. Don't mix it in. If I were to add that entire chunk of sauce right now, this would become sashimi, or it would become a crudo or something of that nature, which is still very good. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get this hustled around just a little bit. And in very traditional fashion, we're ready to go. So what we'll do for plating is, I like to get a big old goblet, you know, good enough for a beer, good enough for ceviche. So we'll pop that right in there. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll just take each little component like this and we'll plop it right in the center. Sorry, I'm blocking your shot, my bad. We'll just plop this right in there. And you can already see, I don't know if you can get a good shot of this, the fish is now completely opaque and pure white. All of the liquid that's underneath it right now, the leche de tigre, has done its job of marinating that fish to fruition. So for a nice presentation, what I like to do is I take my cosmic ceviche, my cosmic dumpling, and I just do a little something like this, right all the way around it. Give it that beautiful color that you're looking for. And then I take a little crunchy chip of some type, something to add a little textural contrast. Hit it with a nice couple of big leaves of cilantro, and ladies and gentlemen, that is a world-class cosmic ceviche. And I've got samples coming out here, guys. Thank you so much for your time. My name is James Nelson.
Thank you so much, James Nelson, from our friends over at Karma Sauce. And I'm here to tell you, please sample some of this ceviche. James made this yesterday. If you're a ceviche fan, you will become a bigger ceviche fan in this man's hands. I stake my reputation on it. Samples are out. James, thank you so much. What an honor. And thank you, Karma Sauce, for bringing James to us this year.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Jalapeno eating contest coming up at 3, everybody.